Do you think it's unlikely that Beckham and Landry are both on this roster after 2021? Just because you've got all the extensions that are due, and you've got two wide receiver number ones that are getting paid, $30 million together.
It's really difficult to envision them both being here past this season. And you've also got to look at the players they are, right? If Beckham comes back and he's healthy and he looks like Odell Beckham Jr., then that's great. And you want him on your roster. But if he comes back and he just can't get over those leg injuries again, that makes it even more difficult to keep him on the roster. And Jarvis Landry, as great as he's been, and I will pound the table for how important Jarvis Landry has been for this team, and keeping him on the roster as long as you possibly can, he is limited in some of the things that he can do for you at the cost you're paying him. So it's going to be really hard as this roster gets more expensive to have that $30 million invested in those two wide receivers who are turning 30 very soon. And you've got to make decisions. At some point, there's going to be a correction on this roster. And the guys that are the most expensive are going to be the guys at the premium positions like quarterback, defensive end, which we've already seen them pay Myles Garrett, cornerback, and wide receiver, I think is a little higher up the list, but it's not quite that high.
And again, you and I get a lot of flack when we mention, they can't afford wide receivers, two of them at $15 million. And we're not saying they're not good players. We're just saying the salary cap makes you make choices, and the way this is set up, those probably aren't the choices the Browns front office is going to make.
Yeah, you're exactly right. It's nothing against either player. Odell Beckham, when he's healthy, is one of the best wide receivers in the game. Jarvis Landry, different type of receiver, but same argument. When he's healthy, and he almost always is, he's one of the best wide receivers in the game. But $30 million in two guys, when you've got to pay your quarterback, you've got to pay your corner, you've already paid your edge rusher. You're going to have Jedrick Wills is going to come up eventually. Now that's down the road, but eventually you're going to have to start paying him. The way they pay this roster has to flip a little bit, and it's just not sustainable to keep these two guys together for that much longer.